Hello, welcome back. How we diddling cupcakes? Oh, how's Twisted Koi doing? Well, it's bloody cold, isn't it? And you, Popsy's Koi, I see you. Well, it's a bit late in the afternoon, but my man Rocket Boy, Dave from Koi Karma, the fixtures and fittings here at Twisted Towers, he brought me over some Kingspan. Awesome, and a little bit of ply. I've got some ply in the porch as well. And what I'm going to be doing is, because I've just taken the temperature gun to both the pond and the Tosai Tank, and the main pond is sitting at 8 degrees. Tosai Tank sitting at 9 degrees. So the double glazing must be doing something. So what I plan to do is use the Kingspan on the two inner walls and then ply over the front, and then that should keep it a damn sight warmer as well. Then if I've got enough, I can then get some in front of the window, and then that will be the tank itself, all fully insulated. Then the next job will be to get, if not fully enclosed in, but the easy pod at least boxed in, so I can get some kind of insulation in and around it and the pipe work. So then I can think about putting the greenhouse heater in here overnight, just to keep the drops from going, and over time it will maintain a temperature in there. Well, that's the fucking plan anyway. You know, if that don't work, then fucking bollocks to it. Made a few decisions today as well. I'm no longer going to be building a pond in the front garden. We're going to leave the front garden completely nice and flat and smooth. I'll have to get another section of grass to go down that area. And before you all start screaming, but I thought you wanted to do spawning. Well, yes, I can still do spawning. I'm going to be speaking with Brad, and what I'm looking at doing is buying myself some kind of small framed pool. Doesn't have to be massive, you know, it could even be a pop-up vat for me spawning. And if after I spoke with Brad, what I'm looking at doing is getting the Eric Compact off him, back off him, as it used to belong to me. It used to run my growing on tank that I had indoors. Yeah, what is now my laundry room, I actually I bricked across the front of it, and then I put a liner in. And then from floor to ceiling, all the way around, I tiled it. Yeah, it looked nuts. And I had the Eric Compact running that system. So it is a bloody good filter. And like I say, like the Eric 1 prototype carcass, it's got a lot of fucking history for me, and it's got a lot of memories. So yeah, it'll be good to hopefully get that back. I'm going to pay for it, obviously. But so what the plan is, if I can get an Intex pool, I can set that up, or some kind of pop-up. I can set that up, you know. I can seed the pot. I can seed the pool or whatever it is I end up using with water from the pond, because ultimately that's where the fish are going to be coming from. And then that in itself, if I did that for a week or so with the males in there, that would be enough to kickstart the Eric, and then I can continue having the Eric running whilst I'm then dealing with the fry. So that's the plan, and then once they're at a size where they can then be shifted out here in the back garden, then it can all come down, get packed away, you know, jet washed, dried, cleaned up, packed away, put back up in the loft, ready for the following year. So yeah, I'm gonna be keeping the koi completely dedicated in the back garden, and the front garden is going to become a proper patio and garden. So yeah, that's plans moving forward. But I got to pull my finger out my arris, and I've got to take a couple of these signs down and get a bit of this cut, get it stuffed in on these walls, because I think that will make a whole heap of difference as well, especially once I get some in the front of the glass. So, but like I say, a big thanks to my man Rocket Boy. He only just got it in his van, bless him. But yeah, I reckon I'll be able to get that end wall and the side wall and a bit for the window out of that. And then I've got an 8x4 sheet of ply in there, as you can see, and he brought me over a little bit of what he had left as well. So yeah, it will get used when tip that up there a second. There we go. When I put that in, because it was pissing down with rain when he turned up, I just chucked it in there, and it was later on. Let me zoom you out a little bit. I thought to myself, we come out, it was when he's on his way home, and it was sat like that. Now I automatically thought, oh, what if I was to cut a piece out, a couple of hinges, so that I can still access the filters for cleaning, but then if I have to take any fish out and treat them, I've got a usable worktop there permanently, and then when it comes to cleaning, you just lift it up, clip it up. Whoa, break your fucking neck. So yeah, I'm contemplating that one as well, even if it's only the width and a little bit of the Easy Pod. You know, even that in itself will be enough room. Just I'd have to put some kind of corner off on it. But can you see where me brain's going on that one? And also, if I have got one across there, when it comes to netting up fry and fish from there, I've got somewhere solid that I can sit a bowl. So yeah, definitely a lot of thinking been going on. See, Lee's are clocking along here, so yeah, I'm just about to start taking these down, and I've got a spider plant explosion in me fucking shower. They're going fucking batshit. I love it. But yeah, it's definitely doing something, because look, we're condensating and the water's going back down and whatnot. And yes, don't panic. I will be keeping an eye on the pH, because when you cover or encase your pond like this, the condensation can actually alter your pH. One to think about. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to put you down for a minute and pull my finger out and cut a few bits of this, and then we'll come back to you shortly. Well, as the first piece in, I've had to move the light for the minute. I had to move the bracket up for that, but I am going to be changing that for a spotlight like that one. That one is gonna be moved up there to give me a better light coverage. But yeah, got that piece in. I've just managed to get that out of the porch so I can cut it. I didn't want to do it in two pieces there, because I'm going to have to board that wall in between the pipe work, but I'm going to need to put a piece of board underneath to cover the bit of board that's going to go on that, because that is just a piece of polycarb. So I'll still have that sticking out, but, and then once I've got the good ply on there, all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it to shape and get it in. I'm going to have to dry these roof bits off, because I'm going to have to leave it overnight open if I want it to, if I don't want to soak the wood, because it will need a coat of paint. Maybe if I just get the Kingspan in and get the bits cut, and then paint them before I put them in. Either way, the insulation will be in tonight. I think what I might have to do is a couple of washers on the bit that goes up there. And like I say, I'm going to cut a piece of ply to put underneath it for it to sit on, because then it will seal the bottom of the piece of Celotex that's going across the top there. Babies don't know what the fuck's going on, so yeah, spotlight's going on in a second, and come back to you again shortly. Hey, look at the state of the fucking bonnet, huh? Yeah, I had to take me out off. I was cooking and it would get too bloody hot. But finished doing the cooking, so let me show you how I got on, and I'm pretty darn pleased. I haven't got the old artwork back up on the walls, but I've managed to get the insulation in. I've got the wooden boxing up around it. I fucking shit myself because I had to take the top layer of the shower off. Yeah, that almost ended up in the fucking in the Tosai tank. I did end up dipping my fucking Swede face first in the fucking water. Dip me fucking clothes in. I'm still fucking up. I'm still sopping fucking wet. So yeah, it's been fun and games. Especially when you're trying to screw screws over there and all you've got is that bit of slippery fucking decking. So when you're up there and you're pushing against there, because you've got the glass there, don't forget. Yep, fucking legs went, fucking dunk. Absolutely fucking wringing wet. But the board has dried off now, so I can now fire the pump back up and check that the shower's going to run right, because like I say, it almost ended up in there, and I've had to move the old spacers about at the bottom because it moved. I have had to relocate a couple of the plants because I had to end up taking the top section out to get that bit of wood in over in that corner. In fact, hang on a second. That doesn't look fucking straight. Don't fucking move off there. It took me ages to get you fucking back on there. Anyway, I digress. So let's go and flick the pump on and see what happens. I did turn the pump off to start with because the old mind your own business does tend to drip, and I didn't want the drips making the paint run. But yeah, here we go, pretty happy with that. They got their filter running again. Look at that fucking blanket weed. So yeah, what I'll more likely do is just leave these ajar like that for tonight. And the reason for that is so I don't condensate and sweat up inside until I'm able to get the silicone in around that pipe, around the bottoms, around the top. So I might actually put a bit of expanding foam in that gap there and then trim it back. But yeah, where there's a joint where that pipe is there, I want to get silicone in there, all around the top, all around the bottom. The top stones will get painted in the spring anyway. They're going to be painted black, and yeah, I'm absolutely chuffed to bits. Gotta say, guys, I gotta say, I saw a very surprising video from our Dave from Eden Koi Pond, and I've got to say, Dave, you couldn't be more fucking right. Pondo Man's back. Mind-blowing shit coming out of his head. It just blows my mind, honestly, guys. Yeah. And as a few have said on the replies, he's dangerous. I'm sorry, there's no other way of putting it. But now that being said, let me shut this skimmer off a minute. Yeah, see if we Hang on, sorry, you're fucking fizz-hogging you, ain't I? See? My plaster fish is still going strong. That'll go back up in the Tosai tank. Thank you very much, Kylo. That's Kyle from Macakoi. Go on, you can have a little bit. Honestly, guys, look at that Shiro Utsuri. Look at the sumi on it. Absolutely love that Shiro at the moment. It's definitely going to be one to watch for next year. Especially if I can get that fucking tank in there up and running and get some fucking heat in there. Because there we quite a few that are in there that will come out and they'll go into the old growing on tank, like the Ginrin Showers, the little Shiros. And Susan's Snow Asagi. That was my oldest boy, thinking I'm stood out here talking to me fucking self. Hey, there you go. Well, that's all you're gonna get is a little sprinkle. Just a little sprinkle. But yeah, really am loving this Shiro at the moment. And as you can see, the pond itself is looking lovely and clear. So yeah, there you go, that's it for today, folks. So as always, I've been Twisted Koi. You lot have been great, and we'll catch you on the next one.
That's all, cupcakes.